Welcome, Locked On Bulldogs. We are talking all them lines for them games all over college football, but most importantly, the inferior Bulldogs, who, by the way, your coach has asked, mount up, Dog Nation. It's only a
Not their
6-hour
coach,
drive.
not the inferior
No,
Bulldogs coach,
no,
the
our
superior
coach.
Bulldog coach. Okay,
Our coach has
All
said,
right.
mount up, get to that game. We're going to be talking about locks today and giving our predictions for this game right after this.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel. He is Clint. Happy to have you along with us on this fantastic Thursday. It's another game week. Guys, I know Georgia's got a lot of football games left to play.
Sure.
But it's around this point every year that we feel the need to remind you.
Here we go.
College football doesn't last forever. Savor these weekends while you have the opportunity.
Tell your friends coming to town, we will catch you in January.
Yeah, tell... Maybe you know someone else bringing friends to town. Maybe just distance yourself from those people for the next few months because there's a lot still happening. A lot of teams have a lot to play for. Tennessee fans are just out here cheering for the real UT. Do you see the irony?
I do.
It's UT that they need to win because their program, not UT, could not win. Yeah. So if your school hasn't defecated on the bed, then you still have a lot to play for in this college football season. A lot of great games on the slate. We're going to get to our picks and our locks in segments 2 and 3, but let's start with the Georgia game in Starkville, Mississippi against the Pirate, Mike Leach, the Mississippi State Lesser Bulldogs. Let's jump in. I'm going to start. I think this game has been circled on a lot of people's schedules as a trap game for a long time. And that's not just John Tweed Sports. There's a lot of people that when the season came out, when the lines were originally distributed, or the schedule was originally distributed, I should say, that people looked at Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, the three best teams in the SEC East, apart from Georgia.
This was, by the way, beginning of the season.
Yeah, Kentucky was once thought to be a formidable test.
I said similar things. My bad.
People did not know Florida would struggle to make a bowl in year one under Billy Napier.
By people, who do you mean?
Not us.
Thank you.
We're on board with that. So people looked at these games and they said, but don't forget, sandwiched in there, a tricky road test going to Starkville. Tricky. You got to travel and get down to Mississippi. People had this game circled. So, Clint, why am I not scared at all of the Lesser Bulldogs? It almost makes me a little nervous
don't
how
do that.
not nervous I am about this game, because I'm just here to tell you, I'm not nervous one bit.
Don't reverse psychology your way into this.
You know, if anybody can reverse psychology their way into a bucket, it's this guy right here. Like,
look, I have seen this man out here.
Yeah. There are two things I know how to do. Okay? May I? There are two things I know how to do. Number one is talk myself into a scenario where Georgia football breaks my heart.
Yes.
Number two is talk myself into a scenario where Georgia basketball makes me happy. These two things,
guys,
I am gifted at.
Look me in the eye, fan. Look me in the eye, viewer. If you're on the audio side, just believe I'm looking at you. I swear to you, I solemnly swear, my sworn duty is to keep this man's basketball talk to as few times as I possibly can without
1-0 Wake Forest tomorrow. Guys, big game against Wake Forest.
executive producer Michael, I need to figure out on all of these buttons and all of these meters.
Let's talk about Mississippi State.
Okay, thank you. Mississippi State. Here's why you're not nervous, Daniel. Let me tell you right now.
Okay, tell me.
You're not nervous because they're not good.
They're not good at football, and we are.
And we're obscenely good. When I say we're obscenely good, what I mean to say is in every single facet of every single football position, we are exceptional, and they aren't. We thought they were good, but again, it's just like last year. Last year, if you remember, Mississippi State, Will Rogers came out breaking records for completions.
Sure.
Daniel. Everybody thought, oh no, here's Mike Leach again, has his team cooking. He's learning the SEC.
Yep.
He's figuring it out.
He could do it.
This year was the same thing. And what happened last year, what happened this year are going to be very, very similar. They're going to putter down in this game. They're not good. They don't have the guys. They don't have the coaches. They don't have the acumen. They don't have the pedigree. That's why you're not nervous, Daniel.
Yeah, I got this game 38-9. That's what I have the final score of this game being. So, I don't think Georgia's going to struggle to score in this game. So I'll lead with that. I do think Georgia is going to try to establish the run game.
Yes, sir.
And stretch out the clock because I don't think Kirby likes defending this offense. And so I think he's going to try to defend it as little as possible.
It's annoying to defend, Daniel. That's why.
So I expect Todd Monken to come out and establish a lead early. What's the first half line in this game? First of all, I'm locking up 16.5. If you get this line and it's still under 17, you go ahead and lock up 16.5.
I came on today, Daniel, just before this podcast. I went over and looked at it again, and I couldn't believe it was still at 16.5 because I went ahead and got more money in on it, Daniel.
Yeah, I love 16.5. I'm very happy with that. But take a first half line as well, because even though it's a road, I don't like betting first half lines with road teams.
No.
Because often the momentum starts out early on the home team side. I expect the game plan for Georgia to be attack on offense early and then just absolutely pound Mississippi State with the ground game. We talked about on yesterday's pod what Auburn was able to do to Mississippi State on the ground. 200-plus yards rushing, moved the ball easily on the ground, took it to overtime, scored 30 points while only throwing for 75 yards in the game. That's what Auburn was able to do. Oh, no. Our offensive line's better than Auburn's. Our backs are better than Auburn's. Tank Bigsby, where hast thou gone?
No, it's bad.
Georgia's ground game is going to be able to do whatever it wants. So I still think we get up into the 30s. 38's where I'm going to put Georgia. And then I got 3 field goals for Mississippi State. I think they will move the ball, but I think we will keep them out of the end zone. I got them in that 9-point range. So 38-9, lock up minus 16.5.
This is maybe a little sneaky preview for tomorrow, Dan. You got Carson Beck playing this game?
Yeah, I think Carson Beck will play. Yeah, I think Carson Beck will play in the fourth quarter of this game.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, the lowest for us, I think, in this game is 30 points. I think 30 is the floor.
Sure.
I think 10 is the ceiling.
Ooh, the
for
ceiling.
Mississippi State. The ceiling is
interesting
10 for them. I think people are cooking. I know we want to talk about coming off a letdown from Tennessee, and our guys are tired, and we're traveling and all that. And that all may be true, but again, what was Kirby's comments the first practice after Tennessee, Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
He said, didn't like the energy at practice today.
Yeah.
Was a little down. A little
Kirby
sluggish.
doesn't do
No.
letdown spots.
Nope.
He just doesn't do them. We haven't seen it in the last several years from this Georgia team.
From the new king of college football.
It has been years and years since we have seen Georgia legitimately hit a letdown spot. Don't call Auburn 2017 a letdown spot. That's a road game against a very good team.
Very good.
That's not a letdown spot. That's just we got blitzed and we got beat. Kirby doesn't do those. He's been really good, especially lately, at keeping the team focused. I think you're going to see a focused and hungry Georgia team come out.
Give me 40-10, Daniel.
40-10.
And I am also locking up The 16 and a
You
half,
have
if you can
to
find
at,
it.
at those numbers.
You have to.
16 and a half.
Come on.
Guys.
Come on. We're going to come back after this. We're going to give you more lines. But first, I want you to know about Upside. Upside is this fantastic place. It's an app. You go ahead, download it onto your phone. It's called Upside app. And what you do is there you go. Fantastic. Okay. And what you do is when you go shopping at the different places that you go to, whether it's gas station, grocery store, whatever you use, pull up the Upside app and you're going to find yourself getting deals to get money back for every dollar that you spend at those places. Upside is a fantastic app. It's easy to use. It sounds too good. It's not too good. It is exactly true. Pull it up right now. Use promo code Locked On, and they're going to give you $5 on your first $10 recorded on the Upside app. Upside, it's not too good to be true.
Georgia also not too good to be true, and can report at the time of this recording, DraftKings has a 16 out there. So you can actually go
Get rid of that hook. Get rid of that hook.
You can actually go snatch 16. There's a Mississippi State team total at 18.5.
Oh. Keep talking.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let's get to can we do a first half? That's what I was looking for. This is the number you really want. 8.5, Clint. First half. Minus 8.5. I jump all over that. So I'm going to give you my first lock, and it is not a complicated procedure.
Okay.
It's
pretty cut and dry.
It's very plain and simple, Clint.
Okay.
It doesn't win every time, but it wins so often. It wins the vast majority of the time. When you see Virginia,
okay, here we go.
You bet on the other team.
Here it is.
Let me tell you something about Virginia.
Please.
Their offensive line is so bad. They may have the worst offensive line in the Power 5.
It's offensive to look at.
They will not block Pittsburgh the entire game.
You said Pittsburgh, and you're still taking Virginia.
Armstrong is going to be running for his life. Give me Pitt minus 3.5.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, no.
That's an easy take. Fade Virginia and make money. You're welcome, and you're welcome.
You're just gonna do that all year. This is the anti-Army of 3 years ago, is what you're doing right now.
I find someone who likes to give me money, and then I just hang around them. You understand? There are people in your life that
who are these people that you know that just like giving you money?
There are people in your life that in early September, book 2 hotel rooms in Los Angeles for the second week of January. And when you find those people in your life,
what do we do with those people?
You just stay as near to them as you possibly can.
But Daniel, what if one was just to slap you across the face?
It wouldn't matter.
You would say, "Can I have another?"
You'd say, "Thank you, sir.
May I have another?"
May I have another?
I'm gonna give you a lock, and this to me, Daniel.
Yes.
This to me is contrarian to my own feeling on this team, but something is happening late in the season. Okay, bet on chaos. Movement? There's some movement.
Okay, I think it moved.
Wake Forest. Everybody stop.
Everybody stop. I think
where'd you get those mangoes from? Wake Forest is not great at football. They were a darling for a hot minute.
Flying high.
They were flying real high. Hartman came back.
Wheels fell against Louisville. I bet on them in that game.
I did as well. I gave it as a lock.
Louisville beat the crap out of them and
hung with them for a little bit, and then Louisville said, "Let's get real." So Wake Forest is hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina has
big game though this weekend.
Big game.
Okay.
But
excited to hear how you're going to go here.
North Carolina got themselves a guy who's slinging the rock.
Oh, he's pitching it around.
He's pitching it around.
He's distributing out there.
And I'm getting 3.5 from North Carolina.
You're laying 3.5.
No, I'm getting 3.5 on North
North
Carolina.
Carolina is an underdog in this game?
North Carolina is an underdog in this game.
Stinks, Clint.
I know it stinks. I know. I said it is contrarian to a couple principles I have. This line, but it's 3.5. It's 3 in the hook, and they are getting points. Something's going on. I'm going to take it. I'm taking the underdog. It's a road game. It's late in the season. I think the ACC is full of pretenders and jokers all the way around.
Okay.
And I think Wake is one of those pretenders. I think chaos is going to happen in there, just like the Pac-12. If you guys don't think that UCLA may come from out of nowhere and win,
they're not out of nowhere, by the way. They have one loss on the season.
I'm talking about everyone else who's only looking at USC and Oregon. Daniel, that's
UCLA should be ranked ahead of USC by at least 3 spots.
Why in the world is USC ahead of them? I have no clue. No clue.
USC has beaten 0.00 teams this year.
I know. I understand.
They're not even hanging their hat on a win at home against the most overrated Alabama team in the history of the world. No. Like, that's how bad USC is. They don't even have that to try to pad their resume.
Give me North Carolina plus 3.5.
I'm gonna go to a team that. Do I want to bet on Indiana, Clint? Is that a thing I like doing?
Don't do this.
Do I like doing that?
No, you hate every moment of it. Don't do this.
Have I watched any football lately? Yeah, thank you. I've watched quite a bit. You tell me the reason Ohio State should be favored by 40 points against anyone.
I think the big nooner has something to do with it.
40. They struggled against an overrated Penn State team.
But that was a hostile whiteout.
Nope, it was not.
Oh.
They struggled against the worst Power 5 team in all of college football,
but Daniel,
Northwestern.
The wind and the rain.
C.J. Stroud rushed for more yards than he passed for.
It's not great.
Indiana is a team that is not good. They are bad.
They're very bad.
But they have a pulse. Okay? They are not Northwestern. 40 points, Clint.
Yeah.
That's not... I know that Ohio State's going to score 45, 49 points in this game. Give me 10. From Indiana. I can get 10, right?
One would hope.
I'm going to take Indiana plus 40. Let's go. Let's roll.
I can't believe you're doing that.
Look, give me a big number. Give me Indiana. Give me a team that has shown that this team is not as good as everyone thought they were. Ohio State is not as good as everyone thought they were. Everyone's talking about how Alabama is not as good as Alabama has looked. If Ohio State played Alabama's schedule, they would have Alabama's losses plus some. Ohio State is not as good as everyone in the preseason, all the prognosticators, all the talent evaluators gave them credit to be. So, give me 40 points, too many points.
All right. I'm going to give you one more before we go to break, and that is, look, Tulane's playing some good football right now, Daniel.
Okay, you're talking to me about Indiana. Here we go. Let's talk about Tulane.
Well, I'm talking about a team that's playing well, not a team that's playing so poorly.
Yep, sure.
Tulane's playing some good football. They are giving 1.5 to Central Florida coming into town.
Yep.
I think Tulane has a little bit of pep in their step. Not just a little, but I think this 1.5 is far too small. The over under.
You think the Gus Bus is going to hit a little speed bump here?
I think the Gus Bus is going to hit a speed bump. I really, really do. I think two things are true. Either you try to game plan and you just dismantle the Gus Bus because you know it's a gimmicky thing, or you try to just simply out excite the Gus Bus and you try to boat race him at it. This over under is 54.5.
Oh.
I think that's a low over under.
You think Daniel. We might have a bit of a shootout here?
I think we're going to have a shootout, and I like Tulane at home. Give me Tulane, given 1.5. We're going to come back after this with some more of our locks. But first, I want you to know about BetOnline. BetOnline's got this amazing little graphic. Look at that thing. It's beautiful. All these money lines we are giving you, all these point spreads, everything like that. you get over right now to the official sportsbook experts of Locked On Bulldogs. That's BetOnline and Locked On Podcast Network everywhere. Put your money in. It's safe. It's reliable. They have great system, great interface. It's the only place that Daniel and I trust to take all of our bets. BetOnline, your sportsbook experts.
Clint.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to hold your nose and make a bet. Okay?
Stinkers are good.
You know what? I'm going to put that on the back burner. Let's go to a more high-profile game. I'm going to get to the stinker. Let's go to a more high-profile game that I think we both have action on. Let's talk about Oregon, Washington. Clint,
here we go.
You ready for this?
Here we go. I'm ready for this.
I've got 3 words that I think perfectly encapsulate. First of all, the spread in Oregon, Washington is what?
13.5.
All right. I've got 3. I don't want to touch that. I don't want anything to do with it. Okay. Get me out of there. It's an early Pac-12 tilt.
Yes, sir.
11 a.m., I think, local time.
Yep.
It is at Autzen Stadium. Oregon has got a little bit of a too good to be true vibe to them right now.
And we've talked about playing up in Seattle's a different game.
I don't want to touch that because I don't want to bet against the home team, and I struggled to lay my money on Oregon because it feels like they're running a little hot right now. 3 words perfectly describe this game to me, and they are big game under. It's a big game. Both coaches desperately want to win.
Desperately.
It's a rivalry game. These schools are trying to feel each other out and get out of there with a win. I know these are 2 explosive offenses.
That's all they care about.
I know these are 2 explosive offenses. I know that, but if you're looking at a team like Oregon, Dan Lanning knows better than anybody because he's been around the king. You have a shot at the playoff, and Oregon's schedule is not easy finishing out the season.
No.
Right? They've got tough games ahead of them. You are trying to get out of there with a win by any means necessary. The total in this game, Clint, is 72.5.
So many points.
That's too many points. This game has the feel of like a 35 to 21 type game.
I was just going to say, it could be 20-24 in the fourth. I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, so give me the under 72.5. What do you like in the Washington-Oregon?
I love that. I would also take the under. I lean under. I probably lock up the under on my own betting site come Saturday. But Daniel, I think Oregon believes everything is still out in front of them, which is absolutely true.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Tennessee, though. Tennessee's feeling good because they're sitting at number 5. If anybody loses, they'll just jump right into the playoff. They think they got it locked up.
You're insane, Tennessee fan.
UCLA gonna pass you if they win the Pac-12.
Okay, y'all realize there are 2 one-loss conference champions who are going to. If Clemson goes and wins, and I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm just letting you know, if Clemson wins the ACC, they're in the playoff.
Oops.
Pac-12 one loss.
Guess who they're gonna play, Clint? If Clemson makes the play. Oh, it's the first time I've allowed myself to think about. Dabo is at this point. He's dug the grave. He has to play DJ. But what if the Georgia Bulldogs come to town, the team that broke DJ, and he has to play them again in the oh Lord have mercy.
The Pac-12 one-loss champion will jump you into the playoff. And there's 100%. UCLA, Oregon, and UCLA.
And USC, yeah.
USC, Oregon, and UCLA all have a shot to be a one-loss Pac-12 champion.
Don't worry, Tennessee's fine.
Yeah,
they're fine.
They're
fine. We don't want that. Georgia don't want that rematch with Tennessee now. They don't want that rematch, Clint. They don't.
We would beat you.
They don't.
Worse.
They don't want the rematch.
Look, this is very simple.
You gonna lay them?
I'm laying them points with Oregon. I'm laying the 13.5. I'm putting them down. I know it's up in Seattle. I know Washington thinks
it's not. It's at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know that playing up there in the evergreen state of Oregon and Washington, I get all the advantages. that this line shouldn't make me excited, but it just makes me excited because I think Oregon's going to boat race Washington at some point in this game. I could see 2024 being in the fourth quarter, which is why I like the under, but I also see this game getting way out of hand at some point. Bo Nix has all the hype. Dan Lanning knows what to do. I really think that Oregon does pull out. So I am laying the points. I'll take you another game, Daniel.
Okay.
This game for me is very simple. One coach and one team that is excited to play, and one coach and one team that are losing recruits, players, excitement, and if not for the best contractual negotiations in the history of college sports, he would be fired today.
When Georgia Tech made the Final Four in the basketball program, they signed their coach, Paul Hewitt, to a contract that automatically renewed for a 7th year permanently. He always had 7 years left on his contract and 100% buyout. That's the best contract in the history of sports. Jimbo's might be better.
Jimbo's is better because he can get fired, go get a job anywhere else, and Texas A&M is contractually obligated to pay him every single penny, no matter what. But Cadillac Williams got these boys playing. They are excited. They are happy. They are hungry, and they're only giving 1.5 points to A&M as A&M is coming to town. A&M is dead. They don't care about no bowl game. They don't care about playing. Cadillac Williams has everything. This is pure emotion on young college football men. That's all this is. And Cadillac's going to get them going. Jimbo can't get anybody up for a game right now, Daniel. Can't get a single soul up for a game. Ooh. Give me Auburn laying the 1.5. You got any more?
I got a real stinker. And you're probably going to hate it more than any bet I've ever made. What is, Clint? This is not a trick question.
Okay. It feels like it is.
Offense and defense. Okay. What is the worst unit? So Team X's offense or Team X's defense. What is the worst unit in all of Power 5 football, maybe all of the FBS? I'll give you a hint. It's a Big Ten team.
Oh, no, Daniel.
Just
Daniel.
Humor me. The worst single unit in all of college football.
Yes.
Is Iowa's offense. That's how the narrative goes.
Awful.
But in the last few weeks, Clint, it's not awful.
Steam. They catching some steam. Kurt Ferentz is out here, and he has given out a racist comment again to make people excited.
Well, nothing makes people from Iowa more excited.
I can definitively tell you that's the abject truth.
You can catch, if you're a real degenerate, you can catch an Iowa team total over 16.5 against Wisconsin.
Okay, now that total for the game is what, 35.5?
35.5.
Okay.
Okay, number one, I think Iowa's going to win this game.
Yeah, they will.
But I'm not willing to bet on them to win this game. But I do think that team total is still skewed by how bad Iowa's offense looked for 7 consecutive weeks. But they may have figured some things out. And listen, they will never fire Kurt Ferentz.
Never.
But his son is the offensive coordinator. He is coaching to not have to fire his own son, Clint. That's what he's coaching for. There's a lot of motivation for Iowa to make their offense look salvageable so that he doesn't have to anti-nepotism his own son. Is that the second or third time anti-nepotism's been used on the pod?
I think the second. By the way, just so you guys fully aware, Iowa's going to erect a statue for Kurt Ferentz when he is done at Iowa. That's how much they love him, and that's how stupid they are because they have nothing to show for anything that he's ever done. Mm-hmm. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, your team every single day. We're going to come back tomorrow. I'll give you our excited, nervous, don't sleep on for this game against Mississippi State at Mississippi State. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.